how much it still has an effect here in our big little city. Now, Halifax has always been and will always be a military city. As I mentioned, Canadian Armed Forces is our largest employer. In part because of that, there are actually some laws that come into effect when there is global conflict. Our story begins on the night of the 5th of December of 1917. One of those laws was that if you were carrying anything aboard your vessel that could make Halifax Harbour, the city of Halifax, or our sister city of Dartmouth susceptible to attack, you had to lower the flag indicating the cargo your vessel was carrying. Now, to keep Halifax Harbour safe, they also had a submarine net that would come up at the mouth of the harbour every night at dusk, and it would not go down until the following morning after dawn, in order to prevent submarines or larger vessels from entering Halifax Harbour under the cover of darkness. I'm just going to interrupt myself for a moment to give you the safety reminder. You thought it was rough coming into the water? It's even rougher on the way out. So again, do please hold on to a structural element of the vessel, onto all of your personal items, and onto your loved ones. If you thought this was the perfect place to ditch somebody you're traveling with, please don't do that. Now, on the night of the 5th of December, just prior to them having raised that submarine net, a Norwegian ship called the Emo entered Halifax Harbour. It powered on through and into the Halifax-Bedford Basin. Now, the Bedford Basin is the most protected, deepest, and largest by volume basin in the entire world. So as a result, it was a favorite spot for vessels to convoy during both the First and Second World War, before that convoy would travel together to participate in the conflict in Europe. Those sailors arrived early enough to disembark that vessel and enjoy a night on the town, in the company of some local young ladies, and a beverage, or two, or 12, or far too many, because the following morning they made some questionable decisions that led to the absolute devastation of the city of Halifax. Now, the following morning, the morning of the 6th of December, the sailors have reboarded the Emo, and she is outbound from Bedford Basin. She's left a little late, and in an effort to make up some of that lost travel time, she is traveling at an excessive rate of speed. Now, here in Halifax Harbour, much like on our city streets, we have two separate and distinct lanes of travel. One outbound towards the mouth of the harbour, and one inbound towards the Bedford Basin. So the Emo was in her proper lane of travel, but as I said, going at an excessive rate of speed. In an attempt to pass a slower faring vessel in front of her, she made a terrible judgment. Because that same morning, a second vessel had entered as soon as that net was lowered. It was a French ship called the Mont Blanc. She was a fully loaded munition ship carrying benzol, gun cotton, and gunpowder. And in keeping with the laws of the time, she had lowered the flag indicating what her cargo was. So when the Emo pops out to the side of that slower faring vessel, it actually crossed into the travel lane for the Mont Blanc and collided with that ship. Now, when those two ships collided, the metal-on-metal created a spark. The spark instantly lit the benzol fumes aboard the Mont Blanc afire. Some of you folks may have noticed further down the harbour we